Welcome to In the Glow. I'm Desiree Stordahl, the Senior Research and Education Manager here at Paula's Choice.
And I'm Shealeigh Heindel, the National Education Manager here at Paula's Choice.
And today's show, we're going to kick off talking about our stance on natural ingredients. Those of you who follow us probably have an idea of where we're going with this, but there's such a movement for natural equaling better, or the clean beauty movement right now in the market. So we're just kind of going to fill you guys in on where we stand as a brand. And we always go back to the research. We always go back to what science has to say. So you know you're getting the truth from us. But we also want to take as many of your questions as we can get to in this show. So we're going to cover the topic pretty quickly. So start writing in with your questions now. They can be about the topic or just products or skincare in general. We really want to get to as much as we can.
Yeah.
But I think just opening up what our stance on natural is, it's important to kick it off with saying, we believe there's good natural ingredients and there's bad natural ingredients. So whereas a lot of the market tries to steer you towards natural only, you would then be missing out on so many brilliant synthetic ingredients for skin, ingredients that there aren't natural forms of. And there's no reason to be scared of synthetic ingredients as a whole. And in fact, if you think about a lot of these natural ingredients, the process they go to get into a product, you know, they still have to come out of the ground and be cleaned and have preservatives in a formula. So yes, they're natural, and that's still a fine and great thing, but they're not quite as natural as just like taking something out of your refrigerator and putting it on your face.
And it's amazing to have these wonderful natural ingredients, the ones that are not sensitizing or irritating to the skin, but having some synthetic ingredients in there can actually boost the benefits of those natural ingredients for reasons like cosmetic elegance, right? Some natural ingredients don't feel super great directly applied on the skin, so adding some synthetic ingredients in there to improve the texture of that formula, that's going to help. Sometimes they can also help with the stability of the formula. There are some natural preservatives out there. However, some synthetic preservatives are going to kind of yield better longevity out of those natural formulas and those natural ingredients.
So let's dive into maybe what some of the common bad natural ingredients, and when we say bad, we mean problematic to skin, irritating to skin, research showing those inflammatory effects that they cause. Essential oils is probably the number one that comes to mind because A, they're fragrant, B, everybody and their mom is slinging them to you on Facebook right now trying to get you to buy essential oils for everything under the sun. We're talking about, you know, like lavender oil being one of the biggest, most common one that people put on their skin, and it's so irritating to skin. There's copious amounts of research backing that up. So just steering clear of essential oils in general. Citrus oils is another big one. Fragrance of any sort, whether it's natural or synthetic, isn't good for skin. Things like witch hazel.
Menthol, eucalyptus. And I think it's important to remember too, you might not see that instant sort of inflammation on the skin or that sensitivity. So oftentimes if folks don't see it right away, they think that their skin is sort of immune to that sensitizing effect that the ingredient can have on skin. But more often than not, that damage and that sort of buildup of inflammation happens over a longer period of time. So it might not be what you're seeing right in the moment, but it's what you're going to see in a matter of days, weeks, maybe even months.
I think that was such a revelation for me when I figured that out, because I was one of those people who thought if I didn't see or feel the irritating effects, like if I didn't feel something tingle, burn, or make my skin red, I didn't think it was irritating to me. But there's so much invisible damage happening below those surface layers.
Absolutely.
So those are some of the common bad ingredients that we stick away from at Paula's Choice, and we hope you, you know, kind of look through your ingredient labels at home, make sure they're not in those products. We also have articles on paulaschoice.com that list out lots of natural ingredients that aren't great for your skin. So you can search for that in our search bar. But in terms of natural ingredients that are good for skin,
so many.
We utilize a ton of them. We love them. You know, just off the top of my head, omega fatty acids that you'll find in our Omega Plus Complex Moisturizer. Tons of natural ingredients in there. The chia seed, the flax seed, those are really great for skin. A wonderful example of how you can take the best of what nature has to offer and what science has to offer, those synthetic ingredients that are lab engineered, and really marry them together to get a really robust formula that's going to provide so much for your skin.
We were talking about essential oils. Not all natural oils are bad for skin. In fact, so many of them are really restorative, replenishing, fortifying for skin. And our Moisture Renewal Oil Booster is chock full of 9 different nourishing, antioxidant-rich, plant-based oils. This guy has like argan oil, jojoba oil, cranberry seed oil. The list, well, it's 9 ingredients long, but that's all you're getting. You're not getting any of the irritating or fragranced oils in here. You're just getting something that instantly replenishes skin. It imparts a really beautiful glow. We've talked about this product a couple times, but it is your #1 must-have travel buddy, in my opinion. Smooth flyaways, put it on your cuticles, put it on your face, obviously. Use it as a highlighter. It's so versatile, and it's not going to leave your skin feeling tight, irritated, or sensitive.
And if you're in doubt of whether or not an ingredient might be on the irritating side or not, we have a cosmetic ingredient dictionary on Paula's Choice. You can find it under our expert advice section. You can also just go to Google, type in Paula's Choice and the ingredient you're looking for. We've covered thousands of them, so you're likely going to find the ingredient you're looking for. A good example of an ingredient that has a scent to it, but is actually volatile, non-irritating on skin would be coconut oil. So coconut oil, completely fine to use. It's not going to be irritating, but it does have like that natural aroma to it. So when we say fragrance, I know sometimes that can trip people up because there are certain ingredients like vanilla. That's another one that's non-volatile. So you can use it and not have to worry about the irritation on skin. Cucumber's another good example. So it really just comes down to a case-by-case basis, but essential oils is one that you can pretty easily know right off the bat that those are going to be irritating towards skin.
I also think cannabidiol has a really particular smell.
It does.
Yeah. But non-volatile, oh my gosh, we're both spelling non-volatile fragrance in there. So you can use it. That is just the natural smell of the ingredient. And I still, to this day, I know that we've always formulated without fragrance in our formulas, but the first thing I do when I apply a product is I smell it.
Yes.
And the really cool thing about Paula's Choice products is that what you're smelling is truly just the ingredients, nothing masking it. So, when you try out your C15 booster and it smells like hot dog water, you got to thank the ferulic acid for that one. It smells a little savory.
So since you brought up cannabidiol, I'm going to give a little wink to our new CBD oil plus retinol. So this is a good example of that perfect marriage of the nature and the science coming together. So cannabidiol, CBD, has so many great soothing properties for skin. It really helps basically stop or reduce the underlying signs of aging by telling receptor sites in skin to stop firing those signals that are leading to those causes of aging. And then it's combined with retinol being a great synthetic ingredient. You can't get it naturally. It doesn't come from plants. You would have to extract it from humans and animals, which we're not going to do.
Pause. And it's vitamin A, right?
Yes.
You would think vitamins, you're like, this must be able to come from a plant or some sort of botanical, but synthetic. So in this form, you're getting these 2 really great ingredients that work beautifully together. If you were to only go the all-natural route, you're going to miss out on the retinol and all those great, amazing research-backed things that it can do for skin. So not to say, if you want to go natural, again, that's up to you. We're just here to present the science-backed side of it, what research has to say, and we always want to lead you down the path that gives you the honest truth, because thinking that all natural is the safest way to go and the only way to go cheats your skin in a way. And it also builds a false sense of security when it's not necessarily true. Like we mentioned, there are lots of natural ingredients that aren't great for skin. For sure.
So, do we have any questions?
Yes. The first question we have is, what's the best product for sun damage and sunspots?
Sunscreen, first and foremost. Those sunspots and discoloration are not going to go away, and in fact, they will likely get worse if you're not wearing SPF 30 every single day, even if it's cloudy or rainy outside like it is here in Seattle most of the time, and reapplying when you're in direct sunlight. But if you've got that covered, what's your favorite discoloration treatment?
So I would say the gold standard for a long time has been hydroquinone, and we do have 2 products that have that, our triple action dark spot erasers. One has BHA, the other has AHA joined in the formula. Both are that 2% concentration of hydroquinone, and hydroquinone can really help with that in inhibiting melanin production, help reduce the fading. It is something that you have to use for several weeks to see results. It won't fade them overnight. If you want to try an alternative to hydroquinone, then I would say the next thing in line that I think is really great is our C25 booster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which you could use as a spot treatment. It's really easy to just apply where your spots are because it has this tenacious texture to it. And that 25% vitamin C will do a really great job of fading dark spots. But again, it's something where you have to use it consistently and over, I would say 6 weeks until you really see those true results.
Yeah, or you could try the C15 if you wanted something that you could use all over.
Yeah.
And plus you get the extra antioxidant support all over your skin. Great underneath SPF in the daytime, but really just a good anytime sort of booster serum.
I like that.
Next question. Can you use AHA and BHA together? And if you can, then what order?
So you don't really need to apply them back to back. You can use them together in the same routine, absolutely. I think that there are even a number of Paula's Choice employees ourselves that love to reap the benefits of AHA and BHA because while they do have a lot of overlapping properties to them, they still do work in different ways. I think AHA will reveal a more radiant, softer, smoother skin tone where BHA is really getting into those pores and working to decongest and prevent pore congestion. If you want to use them in the same routine, instead of applying them back to back, you could use one in the morning and one at night, or you could just alternate days.
Yep, agree with that answer wholeheartedly. So something, we just launched over in India and we've gotten so many questions about this with our exfoliants. And one thing that Paula has really been reiterating to people is that you don't, like Shealeigh said, some people here in our office do that. They might see different results, but don't think you have to do that. If you really find one that works for you, you can just stick with that. And most likely, if you have the oily, breakout prone, blackhead prone, bump prone skin, the BHA is going to be the way you go. If you're more on that dry, sun damaged side of the spectrum, as opposed to the oily or combination, then AHAs are the best way to go. But it takes a matter of experimentation too. Some people go against those skin types and get better results. So it's always up to you to figure out what's the best. Next question.
Next question is...
By the way, I always like to introduce you, Frances, because you're behind the camera and nobody knows. She's the head of our social media.
The next question is there such a thing as natural sunscreen?
I mean, it depends on how you define natural. Not really. There are mineral sunscreens, which would be titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and there are what people call synthetic. Some people call them chemical sunscreens that have different types of sunscreen filters, sunscreen agents in them. How natural anything is by the time it's getting, preserved and processed to turn into the sunscreen formula that it is. It's not really natural at that point, but it is mineral sunscreen if you're getting the titanium dioxide and zinc oxide.
Yeah.
Next question.
Can you use azelaic acid and BHA together?
For sure, and they love working together, and so much so that we even included 0.5% of BHA or salicylic acid in our azelaic acid booster. The two work really well sort of in tandem because the BHA, like we were talking about earlier, great for anything that starts with B, bumps, blemishes, breakouts. Similarly, azelaic acid can help to reduce the redness and inflammation that can sometimes join or accompany bumps, blemishes, and breakouts. Reduce that redness, help prevent it in the future, help to treat possibly any bacteria that might be going on underneath the surface, and help prevent and minimize any discoloration that could have been caused by bumps, blemishes, breakouts.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest one for me and why I love azelaic acid so much is, my BHA is taking care of preventing my breakouts and preventing those clogged pores, but I still get breakouts from time to time. Things happen. And so that azelaic acid for me helps minimize that leftover hyperpigmentation that I get, just speeds up the fading of it so much more quickly than I've had luck with other products. So I love it, and I love how gentle it is on my skin. Azelaic acid is also a really good example of an ingredient that can be naturally derived, but can also be synthetically derived, and we use the synthetic version in our products. So again, we have to look to what's going to do the best for your skin, what's going to do best for the formula, what's going to do best for the stability, and then choose from that. Next question
is, can peptides and retinol or other stronger ingredients be used together?
For sure.
Yes.
And we often formulate with them together in the same formula. I think our clinical 1% retinol treatment is a great example of that. Off the top of my head, I think that there are at least 2 or 3 peptides in that formula that really work. You'll see some similar or overlapping benefits between retinol and peptides, right? They're both working together to help improve skin's tone, if you have loss of firmness, fine lines and wrinkles, improve all of those things. But they're sort of working on different pathways, right? They both have the same end goal in mind, but they're taking different paths to get there. So they can work together to improve the overall results that you would see from either one if they were separated. That being said, you can also use something super targeted like our peptide booster and use a really targeted retinol treatment like our clinical 1% separate. You might want to use one in the morning, one at night, or alternate days, but there's definitely nothing as far as our formulas go that should prevent you from using them together, and in fact, they'll work better together.
And I think one of the interesting things when it comes to peptides is there are different peptides that truly have a unique targeted benefit that they deliver, whereas retinol is this amazing generalist ingredient where it does so many great anti-aging things. With peptides, in terms of our peptide booster, we were actually able to choose peptides that did these specific things for skin, in terms of firmness or brightening skin, helping with elasticity, things of that nature. So it was nice to be able to really put together this well-rounded formula where we know this is targeting this and this and this, and then to join that with retinol, to use that alongside retinol, you're getting the best of both worlds, really. And that is true of any of our boosters. You don't have to worry about them canceling each other out. They're designed to be used with your other products, whether you mix them in together, whether you layer them, whether you do, like Shealeigh said, use one in the night, the other in the morning. They're meant to be compatible, and that's the whole beauty of them. You get to customize. Next question.
We've had a couple of questions about retinol. So the first one is, what's the best retinol for sensitive skin?
Ooh.
My first question would be if this person has ever used retinol, period, and what the concentration was there, if it was, from their physician or if it was over the counter. Depending on the sensitivity level, you could start with, if you're really, really sensitive and you're really, really nervous, we've got several options at the 0.01% level. You can find that in our Barrier Repair Moisturizer and our Intensive Repair Cream. Both are in the Resist for Normal to Dry Skin line. If you kind of want to start in the middle and go from there, our Intensive Wrinkle Repair Retinol Serum is a fantastic option at 0.1%. I like to think of that as kind of like an ACE formula. It's got vitamins A, C, and E, so it's going to help improve overall skin tone and texture, but it can kind of be a chameleon. You're going to see those additional antioxidant benefits from it too. Or
the texture of that one's so nice as well.
So silky. Or to give another nod to the CBD retinol, this has 0.5% retinol, which is sort of like a medium high for our retinol assortment, but that cannabidiol, to Desiree's point earlier, does such an amazing job sort of neutralizing the triggers in our skin that cause inflammation. I say inflammation, aging causes inflammation. That it might also neutralize some of the irritation that you might otherwise see from a 0.5% retinol. So this might also be a really good place to start for somebody who's a little bit sensitive.
And if you're just starting out, we always say, don't hit it every day of the week. Start out by using it one day, then maybe wait 2 to 3 days before you use it again. And sometimes if you are sensitive to retinol, sometimes those effects do take a little bit longer to show up, as in like a couple days later. So it's nice to start slowly. When you're starting with those, 0.01%, very low concentrations, you don't have to worry about that quite as much, but it's still a good idea to just start slowly and gauge how your skin is doing.
That's a good point.
And the second retinol question is, can you use it in your 20s, specifically if you have oily and acne-prone skin?
Yes, absolutely. Retinol does have a lot of benefit for oily and acne-prone skin. You can use it in your 20s. You can use it in your 50s. It is not an age-dependent ingredient. I know a lot of people do pigeonhole it as an anti-aging ingredient, so they do think it's something, for later on in life. But you want to be using these really great ingredients from the get-go, as much as you can, because we always relate it back to diet. Like, why wait until you're a certain age to start eating nutritious foods? Well, it's the same for your skin. Why wait to take really great care of skin with beautiful antioxidants like retinol, with great power-hitting anti-aging ingredients? It's going to help your skin be that much better in the long run. But in terms of the acne and the oily skin itself, retinol is great for that as well. So no reason not to use it. Our 1% Retinol Booster, which is a high strength, is a product I really do like for somebody with that oily, acne-prone skin. That's my skin type. It's got just this really fluid, lightweight texture that's not going to make you worry about breaking out, feels like nothing on skin, and then you reap all those benefits that everybody else gets in a cream. You just get it in a fluid.
Yeah, and I like that one too because you can just mix it in with a moisturizer if you want. So if you would like to still keep your routine pretty concise and not to have too many steps, just mix it in with anything that doesn't contain SPF, but mix it in with your moisturizer, mix it in with your serum. It is instantly camouflaged, or to Desiree's point, it has a nearly weightless texture, so it will quickly absorb in and won't feel too heavy even if you're oily and acne prone.
And someone's asked, which are your favorite Paula's Choice products?
Ooh.
Oh, this is so hard.
How many do we have to limit ourselves
I know,
to?
right? You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. The 2% BHA liquid will always be part of my ride or die skincare routine. That, when I came on with Paula's Choice, is really what changed my acne. I did have acne that I was facing every single day. And like I said earlier, I still get breakouts from time to time, hormones, everything else. They happen. And so I still get them, but it has done such an incredible job at keeping them at bay for the most part. And if I do get one, I know how to treat it very quickly. So in addition to the 2% BHA liquid, our BHA 9, which is also beta hydroxy acid, just a higher percentage. I love that for spot treating if I do happen to have one of those monster zits that come out of nowhere. I had one last week when I was on vacation.
While you travel.
Always when you travel. I was so pissed, but I had my BHA 9 with me. I used that in tandem with the azelaic acid. Just applied that nightly and it got rid of that zit very quickly. In terms of other products I love, our skin balancing toner, I feel like it's an unsung hero. People don't always think that toners are necessary, and for me, they are. They do such a good job of replenishing my skin right after I cleanse it. I'm getting all those really great substances back into my skin. It just gives it like a nice feeling. Also because I don't always use a moisturizer. So way, I treat my toner as like a liquid hydrator. I get all those great anti-aging ingredients, those great hydrators, those great skin replenishing ingredients, but I get them in a liquid form, so I don't have to load my skin up with a heavier texture that doesn't feel great on it necessarily. And then, oh gosh, out of our SPFs, the Essential Glow from the Defense line, I love under my eyes. It does a really nice brightening effect. Our Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense SPF, I always have to give a shout out to that one. That does really nice with my skin. I used to be one of those people who would not wear sunscreen because I hated the way it felt on my skin. I was also not the smartest about the sun in my younger years. If I could go back and redo it all. But that is a nice one for somebody's skin type like mine, but also, somebody with combination skin. Even people with dry skin in our office love it because it also has this blurring effect over imperfections.
You stole mine. That is my holy grail, the Resist Super Light SPF 30. I've said it before and I'll say it again. That is the product that got me off of wearing full coverage foundation. I came in here at Paula's Choice 3 years ago. Nobody knew what my skin looked like. I didn't really recognize my own skin most of the time. And progressively, I just sort of weaned off of it and sort of started just to switch over to the Super Light. And it's been a game changer, and I haven't looked back ever since. So kudos to the Super Light. And I'm not even oily combination. I'm slightly dry, very dehydrated. And as long as I layer like our hyaluronic acid serum underneath there is fantastic, or our omega serum, either of those or mixing them together is fantastic. And it makes sure that my skin can handle that soft blur, soft matte finish of the formula. I really love our unscrub. I know it's kind of weird to call it a cleanser, but that one really, to me, is just so satisfying. It really does feel like a washcloth in a bottle to me without being
Ooh, I
any
like
sort
that.
of like abrasiveness. Granted, if you use a good washcloth, it shouldn't be abrasive, but I get that really satisfying cleanse. It doesn't irritate my eyes if I use it there. I've always got a travel size with me when I'm on the road. And I'll pick one more. Because we've been talking about natural ingredients, I want to give a shout out to the Earth Source toner.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of a sleeper for me, and when I wanted to try a hydrating toner that wasn't super oily but didn't contain any silicone like our Advanced Replenishing Toner, I found my way to the Earth Source toner, and it is incredibly hydrating, replenishing, softening. It does have a number of really lightweight oils in there, but it's mostly kind of guided by glycerin, and it just instantly absorbs into my skin, makes it feel soft and supple, and it's really been a total game changer in my routine. And I even just like pour it into a little spray bottle again when I'm on the road, and it's fantastic. So that's
And Earth Source doesn't get a lot of love, and if you don't know, our Earth Source, you know, we have been talking about natural and synthetic ingredients and kind of the marriage of the two, but we also created Earth Source as a natural line for people who really do want to focus more on those natural ingredients. So you have, you know, a cleanser, a toner, a moisturizer, and we don't talk about it all the time, but the textures of those products
so good.
are pretty big hits within our fan base. I know it's one of those products where when people discover that toner, they become lifers off of that toner. Same with the cleanser. A lot of people love that cleanser.
And the Power Berry. I mean, that was a kind of a surprise hit for us last year, but that one is just so fantastic. It's weightless, silky gel texture with so much antioxidant support from 13 different berries. Definitely, if you haven't checked out the Earth Source line, I highly recommend it. It'll give you all of these really amazing, good for you natural ingredients that we've been talking about, and none of the ones that are going to lead into any sort of irritation or sensitivity.
Which is very hard to find with natural lines.
Right, tell me about it.
Okay, I know I was supposed to end with my products, but I thought of one more that I just can't walk away from, and that's our new 20% niacinamide.
Yes.
The clinical niacinamide 20%. Amazing. So I'd already used the 10% niacinamide booster. That was helping with my pores, but I feel like that 20% concentration has really kicked up the results in terms of helping my pores go back to the normal size they were before they became stretched and enlarged. And then also, almost more than the pore benefit, what I see the very next morning is just truly how bright my skin looks. It really just does have that healthy glow, and I see such a dramatic difference. And there are a lot of products where it takes a while to see their true results. With the niacinamide, I feel like I see it pretty fast. So I would have to add that into my favorites. But it looks like we are nearing the end of our show. As always, thank you guys so much for your questions, and we want to know more that you have. Let us know what you want us to cover on our next In the Glow episode. So write in and tell us. And until then, guys,
Bye.
bye.